Hi everybody, Leslie here. I am back in my craft lab for a quick chat about card sizes. I decided to do this because a lot of my videos include both US sizes and rest of the world sizes. So my most recent video, which was using your own small dies to make cover plate style and getting perfect spacing every time, they work with any size rectangle or indeed square. I used a mixture of sizes, but I didn't really explain what the sizes were in that video. This is US size, this is rest of world size, and same goes here. This is rest of world size, this is US size. So there's just slight differences. I'll link the video that I made these in the description, I'll link it. So let's have a chat about different size cards. So I'm quite aware that a lot of my viewers are in the US. Your card sizes are slightly different to the vast majority of the rest of the world, which I'm sure if you've been watching UK creators as well as US creators, you'll probably be aware of. So I've just got a piece of black paper so that you can actually see what I'm doing. This is US A2. So this is 4¼ by 5½ inches. This one is UK A6. It's not just UK, it's actually what they call an ISO, which is the International Standards Organization. So this is the international standard for 1/4 of a sheet of paper. So the piece underneath actually happens to be an A4 sheet by ISO standards, which it's close to US letter size, but it's not quite the same. So in the same way that this is 1/4 of US letter size, this is 1/4 of A4. So hopefully you can see quite clearly that A6 card blanks are taller than a US A2 card blank. And this is why British creators, we sometimes default back to an A2, because if you've got cover dies and things that are designed to fit in this dimension on an American size card, it doesn't quite work for us if we're using A6. So we quite often go, UK creators and rest of world creators quite often go back to letter size. But it's not just the height that's slightly different. By the way, the height in inches of A6 is 5 13/16 if you want to be quite accurate about it. And just so you can see quite clearly, if I rotate these the other way, so this is the US and this is the A6. So as you can see, ours is slightly narrower. So our A4 paper is slightly taller and slightly narrower. So while this is 4¼ this is 4⅛. So it's like 1/8 of an inch narrower. And then just to throw it into the mix, because I've noticed that Crafters companion sets, rather than coming with A6 or A2, they come with this size. So this is a 4x6 card blank, and this is still a standard size in most of the world for photographs. So 4x6 inches is a photographic size. So obviously a 4-inch wide is quite a bit narrower and a little bit narrower, you know, 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch narrower than both. So it's even narrower, but it's taller than both. So this is the 4x6 in the middle. Obviously it's 1/2 inch taller. And if you're in the UK, sometimes when you buy card blanks in the works, they're 4x6 inch card blanks, and they come with the envelopes to match. That's why there's slight variations, and that's the 3 most common card sizes. Obviously there's bigger, there's 5x7, and then there's square cards, which are usually in inches, not centimetres. It's an interesting one that, at least in the UK, I can't speak for the rest of Europe, but at least in the UK, most square cards are all still measured in inches. So these are all 6x6 inches. 15 centimetre square, that's really close to a 6x6. So we occasionally see 15 centimetre squares with other European makers. For some reason, we do seem to stick to inches when it comes to squares. So we get 6x6 paper pads, we get 8x8 paper pads, and we get 12x12, all in inches paper pads. But for some reason, when we come back down to what would be traditionally like letter size, what would go through your printer, we only really tend to get A4 paper packs, like reams of paper for your printer or A4, and card is sold, at least in the UK, in A4 sizes. We can't actually get 2 US A2s out of a sheet of A4. We can get 2 out of a 12x12, obviously, but we can't get that out of UK A4 or ISO A4 size. It just makes things a bit awkward for rest of world creators that we end up with US sized products that don't fit on our standard paper. But I thought it was interesting that we still stick to inches for some things, but not for others. All of the techniques that I did on these work on any size square. So it wouldn't matter if it was 15 centimetre squares, 4-inch square, 10 centimetres squared, it wouldn't matter. The ones that I did for these cards, which were just only works on squares, not rectangles, were the techniques I did for these. I'll link that video again. It should be linked up here, or I'll link it in the description as well. It's a slightly simpler way, if you're using squares, that you can do this cover plate style. And I've also have linked the video that had all my rectangle options in it for how you get perfect, easy spacing, no measuring, doesn't matter what card size you're making. So if you've got dies that you like to use to cut your panels, work on any size. Hope that helps explain a little bit of the differences. And thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon in another video. Bye for now.